What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another run here in American Truck Simulator. Long overdue. I've had a lot of questions this week. When's your next video? When's your next video? So here it is finally. It's going to be a same day video, so I'm doing this here on Saturday morning. You guys will see it Saturday afternoon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything works right. But today I've got a couple, actually a couple of firsts. Now, the first one here comes from, let's see, Frank Peru and SCS have the credits here. It's the updated Kenworth T660. Since there's not really a public version of the 386 out, this will have to do. This is a sister truck to that one, and it looks just as good, in my opinion. Now, this one's been updated for a heavy haul set. The mod itself actually comes with that. So, what that means is you're going to get actually the DLC from Euro Truck Simulator 2. No. I mean, having this trailer alone back here is a stretch because this is a European trailer, but now you get the DLC trailer, and I don't know if the steerable axles work, but still. And he did add some cargo to it too. So if you guys want to use it, knock yourselves out. I'm not. That's just my personal preference. So there also is a separate standalone mod for the ETS2 heavy cargo. I didn't really look at it. I don't remember the person's name. It's not something I bothered downloading either. So, like I said, if you guys want to use it, check it out. ATS Mods LT, it's up there. Same for this truck. This truck will be linked in the description. So make sure you guys check that out if you're interested. You got day cab, multiple different Aerodyne and sleeper versions. You've got the drop axle here, as well as a steerable drop axle. One choice in headache rack back there, multiple choices in pipes, as well as on the side there, different grills, you name it. So nice amount of customization. You cannot change your lights. That's some trucks are like that, some are not. No. So other than that, it's a well put together truck. I have not had any issues with it as I was coming over here to get this cargo. So fingers are crossed that I do not have any other issues. Now, if you already had the prior version of the 660 from 1.5, this is going to override it. So just if you have it in your mods folder, it's going to say do you want to override it? Click yes, and you're fine. But it's fully standalone in the Kenworth dealership. All it says is inside cabin chassis paint job. That's it. Many other tuning parts adapted. Now, the paint jobs are a little off. You will see lines on your mirrors. You will see different lines on your visor as well. So, care was not taken when it came to skinning this thing or putting it on there, because the template, basically breaks up the truck and lays it all out. Have you seen the planet Earth, and when they slice it down the middle and they unfold it and it looks all weird because of curvature and everything? Same thing happens there with the skin. So when you are skinning something, unless you're paying attention, you could very well take a design that's supposed to go down the side of the cab here, and it'll wind up on part of the visor. And that's what looks like happened here. So some of them are not really usable unless you like having different stuff all over the place. If you're going to use a chrome visor and chrome mirrors, then you're golden. You're good to go. But other than that, okay. And so also, you see the rims there. This is the pack of Alcoa Wheels for American tractors. Version 1.0 comes from Venture 87 Chris, RBR DUK, John Ubershuk, or Rocksteady. And this one here is tested on 1.6, only on 1.6, so I don't think it's going to work for you 1.5 guys. It adds additional pair of wheels with exclusive hubcaps, replace the texture of the old drives, and minor bug fixes. Let's see, because they do not meet the normal puck, decided to make this version of the wheels. In the first version, collected 4. Each disc has 2 versions, chrome and aluminum. Present your tires and nuts and hub, which is only compatible with the discs on the pack. So what happens is if you select the front wheel there, and you've got Peterbilt, Freightliner, and Kenworth, and 2 different Kenworths. So if you guys have the Freightliners out there, get this pack. You're going to have that sideways slotted tire or rim. You're set. But if you're selecting these rims here, and they really do look nice when you get out here in the open, if you select an SCS hubcap cover or wheel nut, the rim disappears and it will revert back to stock SCS steel or nothing at all. So it is not compatible with the SCS stuff. If you do that, you're going to lose your rim. So you have to use the nuts or covers that are with this pack. So keep that in mind. It has one tire, and it's already labeled for it, so you just have to find it. Stock SCS will not work with this one. So overall, it really looks good. I love the way the chrome shines, and it's very nicely done. And I'll have to be sure to keep this pack on hand when I do a Freightliner. I can throw that in there as well. So cargo for today is the heavy haul pack that I displayed a few episodes ago. Is the Caterpillar 257 Big, or M Big. It's 265,000 pounds. I don't think something like this is normally what you're going to see on the road. I think this is one of those trucks where they build it at the location. But I don't see these too many on the road. Then again, usually, well, different areas get different things, you know. So, anywho, let's turn these beacons on. I'm going to drop that axle when I get on the road. Turn those on, and let's get going. Cummins N14 is what I have underneath the hood right now, and I figured I might need it for a cargo like this. We'll see if the weight is going to be proper. Still rolling with a 13-speed transmission, so not exactly right for a cargo like this. I'm gonna have to reset my head tracker. There we go. I never quite feel centered. Put that drop axle down, that thing doesn't want to turn. That might have been a bad move. There, the wheels are... I'm barely going anywhere. I might have to pick those up. There we go. I've got control back. Alright, so there we go, guys. Found that out. Do not use the regular tag axle up there. Use the steerable. Maybe that'll work better. I'll have to try that at a later date. So now let's just sit back and enjoy as I cruise down the highway over to Barstow. Narrow here. Very narrow. Ooh. I get the feeling the hit detection is not quite right on that trailer, because it probably should have been in the wall there. You guys see that post I had shared on Facebook there? I'm sure you might have seen it on other sites. SDS came out with some more teaser photos for New Mexico, and there was a line, I might not be quoting it 100% correct here, but they said they took more care into making up the rest areas of truck stops. And my first thought was, yeah, I hope you did, because you kind of half-assed it on the first go-around. You know, it kind of baffles me. I mean, they were here. They had Google Maps, Google Earth, and all that at their disposal, and they still got a lot of it wrong. I mean, they had to have seen it firsthand when they were here going to the Peterbilt or PACCAR, you know, test plants and things like that. So, I'm just, you know, it just kind of makes me wonder, I mean, did they even notice? Or did they even care? Or was it even a priority? It probably wasn't. You know, they were probably more worried about getting the trucks right, making sure Peterbilt and Kenworth were happy. You know, they pull their license or whatever, if they can. I don't know how all that legal mumbo-jumbo goes, but, you know, you know, there was probably levels of authenticity they had to be concerned about, and making sure trucks were parked at a truck stop the correct way was probably not very high on their list. But, you know, they didn't really provide, that I noticed, any really up close, you know, in the truck stop kind of things. These were high up from across the street kind of deals. But for the most part, it looks like it's pretty legit. So, you know, that's going to be a nice little touch. The question is all that going to be backwards as well? Is it going to update Nevada, Arizona, California? Or are we still going to be stuck with different truck stops in different areas, you know, in certain different ways? I get the feeling Nevada is going to be the only one that's going to be different. All the others are going to be how they are, and that's the way they're going to be. That's just my gut feeling on it all. Gauges are up, so it looks like all that's fixed. Air pressure is pegged. Is at least a time right up there? It's close. I didn't notice what the day was. It might be. No, I don't think it is correct. Gear shift looks like it's something out of a car. So I was also wondering, guys, I have talked to and have seen people post, you know, how they play the game. And it was actually something that briefly came up in the ETS2 heavy haul live stream we did on Wednesday. You know, about how people play the game. How do you guys play the game? You know, I know a lot of people say, well, this is a simulator, so I'm going to treat it as such. It's not a video game, and that pisses me off every time someone says it's a video game, and so on and so forth. Trust me. I've dealt with that whole thing before in the RC world. You know, you get people who are really hopping mad if someone says an RC car is a toy, because they don't see it as a toy. And then there are others who see it as a hobby, and then there are others who actually see it as a sport. So, you know, that's the question I kind of propose to you guys is, how do you see this game? How do you crank up the engine brake, get that retarder in there, Different levels of engine brakes, that's good. You can hear it get louder as I increase it. Might have been overkill there, but meh, oh well. Like I said, you know, that's how I played a game. You guys can play it differently. But as I was saying, you know, how do you guys play it? Do you get upset when someone like me, for instance, says it's a game? You know, are you going to sit there and pound your fist and say, no, it's a simulator, damn it, you shut your face? You know, I have heard one person, and it was on a post on Facebook somewhere that said that he actually runs this like it's a real truck. So he keeps a logbook even. He went out to a truck stop and got logbooks. And he keeps a logbook for all the runs he does, and he tries to stay within the time frame and everything for what it says he can do. So 8 hours here, you know, he follows the rules and regulations for 14 hours total on duty, 11 hours driving. And he takes his breaks and all of that. You know, to me, that's like, holy crap, you're really involved here. I'm sure a lot of us have seen the photos of people who, you know, make up cockpits that resemble trucks. I mean, hell, there's even a button box out there that kind of helps the realism. I mean, we've got shifters. I'm using one right now from CSIO Tech, the SKRS shifter, that resembles an Eaton Fuller shift knob out of a truck. Not that. That's a stick shift out of a car. In fact, that looks like the whole panel, center console, out of a car. But, yeah, I'd be really interested to hear what you guys say. You know, how you guys play. Are you just here to cruise and that's it? You know, are you someone that, you know, wants to have his own mega company out there and, you know, have a couple hundred trucks and so on? I mean, I know people have their own VTCs. People have made up their own trucking companies. I showed off a skin a few weeks ago for that, for a 579. So, you know, people actually going that far and making their own company and treating this like it is a simulator is not that much of a stretch. It's just, you know, how much of a stretch do people go to have this resemble real world? You know, maybe because they're a fan of trucking or they're a retired driver, things like that. So, me, personally, you guys see how I run the game here. You know, I try to keep it realistic as far as how I drive. But then again, you know, I'm sure many will agree, this does not feel the same as it would if you were behind the wheel. It doesn't. And I think at the end of the day, there is just really no way to do that. You know, force feedback in a wheel can only do so much. It doesn't really provide you with every little bump and crack and seam in the road where you can feel it pull your front tire because you're on two different parts of asphalt or concrete. There's no way for me to get the trailer wiggle or to drift because there's a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind going across the road. You know, these are all things that either A, would take an insane amount of work to do, or B, will never happen because of so much work that needs to be done, or because it's just not possible. Alrighty. bring this big guy home. Of course it wants me to put it back there. Well, guess what, guys? That is not happening. I'm gonna drop this thing right here. That is not happening. Alright, there we go. Yep, parking this right here. Someone else can move it. Not with this truck and not with that load. That's not happening. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. You know, how you drive. How do you treat this simulator? How do you treat this game? Do you get upset when someone calls it a game? Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you guys say. So, until the next run, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you check out all the links in the description for the truck and the rims, as well as all the other social sites I have going on. So Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Patreon. Oh, and I think that's it. So until next time, thanks for watching. Take it easy.